Hey, what's up? It's Jerry. Before I even continue this, go see Avengers Age of Ultron. It's awesome. You're going to love it. It's a ton of fun. But, I kind of rant and rave and complain and nitpick on these things. So that's what the rest of this video will be. Starting with, I just saw the movie, but not in the theater. I watched a bootleg of it because I can't control myself. When I'm looking at the internet and a feed is going by and someone has a link to watch like the most anticipated movie ever, I don't have the self-control to not click that link. I have to click it, and it was pretty bad quality, and I still watched the whole thing. I still loved it. I'm gonna go to the theater and see it. I'm gonna pay my money and see it, in clarity and 3D IMAX. I'll go do all that shit. But why do all these other countries get the movie before America? We're America. Let us watch the Avengers first. Captain America's in it. Iron Man, they're American. Thor, he's from Australia or something. But America should get this movie first. I don't know. And then the other problem is there's just so many sneak previews and clips online. Like, when Marvel puts these out, there's probably like 24 different 1-minute clips of the movie out there. So I watch all of them. I watch every trailer, sneak preview, all this stuff. By the time the movie comes out, I already know everything that's going to happen, because even if you give me 24 separate minutes and they're all at different points in the movie, it's like a 2.5-hour movie. That's still a lot of the movie I've seen, and throughout it you can kind of connect all the dots and know exactly what's going to happen. So I guess in future movies I want to see less in the trailers. Like, I'm glad they didn't show a lot of Vision in the trailers and in the clips, but holy shit, everything else, there was literally no surprises in the movie. Like, every comedic beat, every like funny piece of dialogue, it's literally all in trailers and clips. So with that out of the way, let's get to the ridiculousness of Hawkeye. Hawkeye, the Avenger, no one's favorite. Never heard one person as a kid growing up want to be Hawkeye for Halloween, want a solo Hawkeye comic. No one cares about Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner is a great actor. He's doing a great job with the character, but he is a guy doing gymnastics and shooting a bow and arrow at robots. It is a little bit silly at this point, and the amount of we're learning about his life, and he's got a farm. Who gives a shit if Hawkeye has a farm? I don't care about him. He should have died in this movie, and that way you don't have to worry about him in other Avengers movies. And then, Black Widow and the Hulk having a romance. Who cares? It feels kind of forced in there. And he's got his fingers out, and she's like stroking his fingers like it's a big green dick. I don't know if I'm probably the only person that thought that. They didn't need to go crazy with, adding a Black Widow Hulk love story, because the Avengers already has some other love stories. Like Pepper Potts, we spent 4 movies with her and Tony Stark's relationship. She's not in this movie. Jane Foster got 2 movies with Thor and their relationship. Just, that seems to go nowhere. It's about as romantic as Padme and Anakin in episode 2. So you have these women characters that you've, built up love stories with. They don't really go anywhere. Then you're putting the Hulk in there with Black Widow. Black Widow, she's not really an Avenger. She spends a lot of time being a villain or a rival to the Avengers. And I would have liked to seen Black Widow do some sneaky spy shit. Like, if Black Widow turned on the Avengers, that would be awesome. That'd be neat. That's what I'd like to see. I haven't seen her do anything like that since the first movie she was in. She was in Iron Man 2, and she fooled Tony Stark. That's great. She doesn't do anything else spy-like since then. She's just kind of there. She's the woman, and she spends every movie convincing the other heroes, no, I know I'm hot, guys, but I'm a good guy now, trust me. And then you got, Hawkeye. What is this guy doing? Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Hawkeye works for S.H.I.E.L.D. This whole movie was S.H.I.E.L.D. falling apart and doing all this disbanding and new shields and all. Hawkeye should have been, like, when you need Hawkeye, he's not around. Hawkeye should have shown up and been cool in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Instead, like, what is he on vacation that week? He's like a S.H.I.E.L.D. guy. Why isn't he there? There actually is, like, a cool, kind of interesting love story in Avengers, and it involves Ultron, See, Ant-Man creates Ultron in the comics. Don't even get me started on Ant-Man. That movie's got some fucking problems. So Ant-Man creates Ultron, and so Ultron's a little bit like Ant-Man, and Ant-Man is in love with the Wasp. So, like, Ultron tries to fuck the Wasp. That's like a real storyline, like Ultron's in love with the Wasp or something. That would have been more interesting to put in this movie. Have, like, Ultron be in love? I don't know. It'd been better than the Hulk driving off in a jet all sad. That didn't go anywhere. What? Ultron, come on. Ultron trying to fuck people is not only funny, but it would be great to see in the movie, because that's really what drives men mad. We go nuts over women, and that's why we do stupid shit. Like, you know, who knows? If Hitler got some blowjobs in high school, maybe he's, you know, he's not killing everyone. Tony Stark is by far my favorite Avenger, so of course I want him in all these movies. But at the end of Iron Man 3, he pulls that shit out of his chest. He's not really going to be Iron Man anymore. And then this movie just starts. All the Avengers are out there. They're whipping ass looking for Loki's scepter. I mean, did they just not care about the scepter before, and now they do care about it? Why is Iron Man back in the Avengers? He's got a brand new suit. They don't really explain anything of why Iron Man is where he is, because the whole Iron Man 3 was almost now like, well, I guess whatever Iron Man thought and felt in that movie doesn't matter, because it's just kind of like they had already, or Avengers 1 had already happened, so they already knew about the aliens and the lost scepter, I guess. He just didn't give a shit, and then while people were like trying to melt the president in Iron Man 3, I guess the other Avengers were like, who cares? I mean, you know, it just makes the Hulk look like an extra lazy guy, because he's clearly still friends with Tony. He's sitting there on the couch with him. How about some help, Hulk? War Machine and Falcon are in this movie, and holy shit, they are just corny black sidekicks. You have all these movies, you're sort of building up War Machine. You know, Falcon got to be in that one movie, and then they're just like, they're in the movie and they're just kind of like party guests. Nah, and then they don't really do much. It's embarrassing. You may as well have not even put them in the movie. You tried to crowbar too much shit in there, and I don't know, or if you're going to put them in, let them be superheroes. I mean, they were jabronis in this movie, and now you're like, oh, but they'll be in the new Avengers. Well, that doesn't just mean the new Avengers suck. I mean, let's go to the archives. All right, here we see an old Avengers poster that I've had since I was a child, and very notably Captain America, Iron Man, Thor. You know, those are kind of the main Avengers. You see the Hulk chilling over here. Sometimes he's in the group. Sometimes, you know, he has a lost weekend. He gets a little crazy and he's not in the group. Submariner, you see him there. Yep, sometimes he's there. He's pretty important. He's like, you know, a better version of Aquaman. And then right here we will notice, look, that's Ant-Man and that's Wasp. Two good Avengers, still not in any movies. And guess who's not on here? Hawkeye and Black Widow. Because Black Widow's not really an Avenger, and no one gives a shit about Hawkeye. So, the movie's great. You're gonna love it. Go see it. That was just the ranting and raving of a lunatic. Avengers Assemble.